comes to mind when you think about Dennis Lampley?
Well, I think Dennis Lampley meant a lot to a whole lot of people and touched a lot of people's lives and really set the standard for coaching. And I was fortunate enough to get a chance to play for him as well as along a lot of other people that really taught us, how to treat people, how to motivate people, how to coach them the right way. And while knowledge and X's and O's is very important, it's also about treating people right and letting them know you love them, letting them know you care about them. And when you do that, you get the most out of them. And I just think he set the standard and achieved a lot of great things at a tremendous high school. Loved his time there as a coach, a teacher, even after as an athletic director, and was just always had his arms open for people that were coming back as well, that had played for him and that had been coached by him. And I think everybody cherishes those memories and all the things that he taught them.
How do you begin to quantify, maybe not even just what he meant to Trinity High School, but to just football culture around Louisville? He
achieved a great deal, and obviously did it with a lot of help from other assistant coaches and a whole staff of people. But he brought people together. He knew how to relate to not only coaches but players and parents, and understood the importance of taking young men in under his care, bringing them up the right way, teaching them more about the game of football, but about how to be successful in life and how to treat people, and was always there for him. I just think he used those characteristics that he had to help develop championship programs and build a tremendous program powerhouse across the country, to a lot of wins, a lot of championships, a lot of victories. And then even after his coaching days as an athletic director, knew how to hire the right people and how to continue to build that brand and that program, and just did a great job with it.
Just as far as motivating and a motivating factor for you to become a head coach, what ways did he motivate you, and what did you learn from him that maybe allowed you to navigate your way to become a head coach today?
I was fortunate enough to be able to play the game for a while at all levels, and because of that, I was around a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players, a lot of tremendous teams. And as you experience that, you come to realize how good you had it when you were in high school, and how much those things really meant to you. And I think you tie all the great coaches and people out there across the country at all levels, which there's a ton of them. Really, when young men are at the age of 14 to 18, it's an impactful part of their life, time of their life. He grabbed a hold of that and did the best that I've ever seen at it, as far as being able to relate to all different personalities and backgrounds, and was able to build a championship culture just by being a great person with great morals and values that stood for the right things. And all players really learn from him when they play for him, and then even more so even after, when you came back and you realized after being around other teams, other coaches in other professions, how valuable that time was.
I can't remember what part you're there with that 50-game streak. Were there 2 years of that 50 or one?
I think I was there at the beginning, and
was there a message though that kept everybody grounded, I guess is what I was kind of getting at?
Well, I think he not only could motivate guys to play at a high level, but he brought people together. He was able to, in those days, recruit, so to speak, just by word of mouth, and by people realizing that there was a good thing going on with him as the coach there. And he was able to take young men of all different talents from different backgrounds and mold them together. And back then, to get that 50-game streak was not as common maybe as it could be today, but he did it, and he did it with great flair and great personality. And I just think him being a great coach and then carrying that over to the athletic director role, and then carrying that over into a father figure role, not only for us as players, but even his family, his wife, his son and daughter, his grandkids. He was always just in great spirits, had a great personality, and welcomed everyone back with open arms.
Jeff, you took a moment during your introductory news conference to point out Coach Lampley's impact on you, and you got to share that with him. What did that mean to you emotionally?
It meant a great deal. Coach Lampley had been suffering with Alzheimer's for a while, and even at that stage, he was suffering with it quite a bit. So to get him out of the house and into the press conference was great, and I appreciated that, and his family doing that for me and for all of us. So it was great to see him, and even though maybe he couldn't recall all of it, I think he did recall some of it. And he's always been a big part of our football background. He came to bowl games when we were at Purdue, and we played the Nashville City Bowl, Music City Bowl, and came to practices there. And even our last year there, we beat Tennessee, which is his home state, and his team. And he was there, rooting us on, and it meant a lot. So I just think that as he got older, and as we get older and wiser and more mature, you realize those special relationships don't happen all the time, and you cherish them. So I just think all players and students who had the opportunity to be around Coach Lampley vividly remember a lot of good times and a lot of good memories, and really don't have anything bad to say at all, because he was just such a great person.
Do you have any core memories of your time with him that come back to mind at first?
Well, I think when it comes to memories, like we talked about, getting the 50-game winning streak going, and playing for him in close games. We went to Boone County in the semifinals and found a way to win that in an overtime fashion. And so wet, slippery field, even though it hadn't rained for a couple of days, so I don't know if they wetted the field for the game, but we found a way to win that. And then going into the state championship game and shutting out the Manual, and that was a great victory for us. But I just think he brought together a lot of great people, and did it in a way that you liked and loved playing football, and you loved competing, you loved coming to practice, and you loved the competition. And I just think that is more rare than you think. When you genuinely see the good in somebody, and you notice it, and then there's nothing fake about it, it means that more to you. So I just think he was able to do that to a huge nucleus of people, and they all appreciate it, and they remember those good times.
Being the winner that he was on the field, I'm sure throughout the years you took away some excellence and those things from him, but what were some of the takeaways that maybe you still have to this day about just building up people, teaching young people, and establishing culture that he liked to do?
Without question, Coach Lampley taught me a lot, and my brother a lot, and our family a lot, and really all the players that he coached, because he did. He was able to motivate you. He was able to push you to be your best, but in a way that it wasn't cumbersome. It was something that you wanted to do. It was something that you set goals out, and he helped you achieve them. And as you coach young men now, you realize, and even as a former player at a lot of different teams and levels, and a former assistant coach, there's a lot of good that happens, and there's some things, I don't know if I really want to do it that way. And I think when you look back and you think of our time with Coach Lampley, man, there was a lot you could pick from there about how to treat people, and how to get them to be their best, and how to do it in a way that was enjoyable. Because really, when it comes down to it, football's a game. You want to have fun with it, and he made it fun. But at the same time, he knew that winning was even more fun than not, and he knew how to motivate you to want to be your best. And I just think all those small things, you kind of have to be there and experience it to really feel it. But as you look back now, it was a constant atmosphere of that environment where all the young men he coached enjoyed playing for him.
Where did he get an edge as a coach? Where was his edge? What was innovative about him?
Well, I think that was the main thing that was innovative, is that it came from Coach Lampley just being a great person. Could build relationships, could talk to anybody, and I just think coaching, while X's and O's and plays and all those things are important, everybody needs to know they're cared for. They need to know that somebody's got their back, and I think when you know that, people can come together much better, much faster, and you can accomplish much more. So, you have to have a combination of both, but at the same time, sometimes what can be lacking in some really good teams is the relationship building and the bonding that you have, and that you know that that player, but definitely that coach is going to be there for you, really whether you win or lose, and he's going to be there with you and ride with you all the way to the end. And I think that's what he was able to do naturally, but just by being himself.
When you first ventured into coaching, how much did you really get to talk with him and maybe pick his brain about some stuff on what you wanted to accomplish as a head coach, and maybe what was some of the early advice he gave you on that still sticks with you to this day?
Well, I think what Coach Lampley did for me is, he was a phone call away when I needed him, and not that I reached out all the time, but when I needed him, he was definitely somebody when I was either playing out of town or coaching, not here in this city. When he came back, because we always kept a home here, he always tried to stop by and see Coach at his office, and he was always available for you. He was always, no matter what his schedule was, whenever you dropped by, he was going to spend some quality time with you, and not only reminisce on the past, but talk about the future. And I just think he had wisdom. He had wisdom that was valuable because it was real. He had wisdom because he'd been there and done that. He had a relationship with myself and basically all of his players, and I'm sure they reached out to him numerous times as well. And I just think when you have that, and you have somebody that you know where he's located, not only just where his house is, but where he works, and you know that he's accessible at all times, it can really be a valuable tool to navigating through your own life. So I just think that stop I tried to make at least once a year when I was in town.
All right, thank you, guys.